And I think it's gonna be a blockbuster mentality. We are at the movies.
We're not the show you think we are at home.
Oh, no.
We are Blockbuster. We are Blockbuster mentality.
Well, I think people turn off the show as soon as they hear our little jingles, but
100% disagree.
Thank you. I needed that today. So yeah, Rocketman, 2019 film.
Oh, okay. Just in case anyone was confused here.
In case you didn't know what you clicked on, that's the movie we're going to be talking about. Dave, I have to ask you, are you an Elton John fan?
Moderate.
Moderate. What does that mean?
I like the best of his songs, which would probably be, like Rocketman, Tiny Dancer, if that's the name of it.
Yeah, that is the name of it. Very good.
I'd say I like maybe 5 of his songs. Other than that, Circle of Life, that sort of thing. Candle in the Wind, if those were never made, I'd be okay.
Really? Circle of Life you don't like?
Yeah.
Can You Feel the Love Tonight?
Yeah. I mean, in the movie.
In the movie, it's just great.
Could have been sung by anybody.
That's true. I mean, I wouldn't call myself a fan, because I probably couldn't name any of his albums, but I probably like maybe 10 of his songs.
Okay.
I think...
I mean, what are we looking at here?
I don't know. I mean, Yellow Brick Road. You got, Don't Let the Sun Go Down on Me. You got Rocketman. You got Tiny Dancer. You got Crocodile Rock. You got Saturday. Is that what it's called?
I don't know.
You don't like that song? Okay. You got... I like Candle in the Wind. I like Circle of Life. I like... Can You Feel the Love Tonight? But those two don't count because they're from a movie.
Well, I mean, they don't... I mean, I'm assuming Grammy or Oscar-winning songs.
Yeah, I Love Your Song. This Is Your Song.
Yeah, that's pretty good.
Yeah, that one. I love that one. And I'm Still Standing.
Oh, I like Benny and the Jets.
Benny and the Jets is great. He's got a lot of great hits. So screw you for saying you only like 5. But
it sort of fits into a weird time, I think, for me, because at that point, what is he? 70s? Well, he spanned a long time, but it was early 70s? Somewhere around there.
Yeah.
I mean, for me, I wasn't alive in that time, but I've already made a choice. I like more Led Zeppelin. I'd be that guy.
Yeah. I mean, I'm more of a Billy Joel guy.
Okay.
I
guess I'm less piano guy.
Really?
That's what. And
you don't like Billy Joel?
I do, but even then, I'm like, I only like just a few of his songs.
Yeah. Okay, that makes sense.
And sometimes I think the lyrics are a little too literal. That type of songwriting, I think it's very clear. I like
for Billy Joel
and Elton John.
Really,
think, yeah.
Elton John? I feel like
Rocketman, I think, is maybe one of the more ambiguous ones. But
yeah, ambiguous. But Tiny Dancer, I mean, that's you got.
We're watching as they showed in the movie. I think it made it clearer, right? Or no?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. I guess that's true. Yeah, we see him and his friend.
Blue Jean Baby,
L.A. Lady.
Yeah, I mean they sort of
seamstress for the band.
Right.
Okay, yeah,
and that sort of showed the relationship between,
right?
Because Elton John, I don't know whatever point he took control of writing the lyrics, but he wasn't writing them.
Right, yeah, it was Bernie Taupin.
Yeah.
Taupin? Is that how you pronounce it? I don't know. Jamie Bell plays him. Taron Egerton is Elton John. This was directed by Dexter Fletcher. Are you familiar with him?
No, I looked at his IMDb. He has 4 directing credits, and this is the only one I know.
I saw he directed The Lost World of Z, which I hear is great. I haven't seen it, though. Charlie, the guy from...
Hunman?
Yeah, Hunman.
I don't know. Anarchy and Terrible.
Anarchy. Sons of Anarchy. Thank you.
Movie.
Yeah. Yes, exactly.
He was also in something else recently that I saw him in blank.
Pacific Rim. He was in the first Pacific Rim. Yes. Anywho. But yeah, I'm not familiar with Dexter Fletcher. Taron Egerton, obviously we know from Kingsman.
Yeah, you can check out both of our Kingsman episodes.
We only did one.
Okay.
I'm sorry.
Check out the one at least.
Check out the one.
I thought we did both. I don't know.
Yeah, we did. I actually haven't even seen Golden Circle, the second one. I heard sorry, I'm totally derailing the show
it's
for
good to
us.
be accurate.
But
thank you.
Yes, I want the folks to know we are accurate and we know what we're talking about.
You will only find one Kingsman episode.
Did you see Eddie Eagle was with Hugh Jackman and Taron Egerton? He's skiing. Taron Egerton is like the skiing guy.
I did not.
Okay, it was all right. kind of, just cookie cutter,
Nothing
uplifting
special?
Olympics movie,
Oh, okay.
but Taron Egerton has been great in all these films, but I think this is the first film I've seen him in that you really see his acting chops.
Yeah, definitely. And we also get Richard Madden as Scumbucket.
John Reed,
Yeah.
which, fun fact, what's his name? Whoever played Littlefinger, the guy who played Littlefinger in Game of Thrones, Aidan Gillen, he played John Reed in Bohemian Rhapsody.
Oh,
So you have
same guy?
Yeah, it's the same guy. He was the manager of Bohemian Rhapsody or Queen and Elton John.
Oh, wow.
Yeah,
Now I
so
get
it's funny though that two Game of Thrones actors portrayed him.
Interesting.
In both films that just came out, right after each other.
Yeah, no, I hadn't seen Bohemian Rhapsody in a while.
Yeah.
Now, I'm just curious now, was there any funny business going on with him and the band there?
Yeah,
In terms of screwing them? I don't remember.
No, I mean there wasn't in the
Screwing them
movie
financially or anything like that. No.
No, yeah, there was. I mean, I know there's that scene where Freddie Mercury kicks him out of the limo and fires him as their manager.
Oh yeah, okay, yeah, I remember.
So
that.
yeah, I mean,
so he was skeezy in that movie too.
Yeah,
okay.
In this movie, you really get that. It's like, man, this
bad.
guy is
well, it's more than that because it's a sexual relationship,
Right, yeah.
Which Elton John, who let's just go on here, and one of the big things going on in this movie is this idea of love or the lack of it. And Elton John, it's pretty clear the character, at least in the movie, is the man was the child, the teenager, the man was never loved.
right. Yeah,
And he finds this John Reed guy who he thinks this is love.
right.
and
Yeah.
It's not.
Well, you even get him with Bernie Taupin, who Jamie Bell plays him, and you get that scene where Elton John goes in for a kiss, and he's like, "I don't feel that way. I love you. You're a great friend."
It's a friend love.
Right.
Yeah.
But you get that. He's never been loved. You get the relationship with his parents right away. I love how this movie starts out with a bang. Him walking into rehab with that flamboyant suit and everything.
Yeah. And now I gotta say that humor, that laugh, fell flat for me.
I don't think it was a laugh really for me. I think it was just like,
I thought it was awkward.
this is me. This is who this is who I'm coming in as. I need help. I don't know. It set the tone for what the style of the film would be, and it caught me by surprise that they broke out in song like right in that scene when he's going back to his childhood.
I like the concept. I'm just saying, when he's walking through that hall, you think maybe he's going to go on stage or something like that, and instead he walks into this room and it's rehab, AA, or whatever.
Yeah.
And he just makes kind of a line. That's my memory of it, and it's sort of an awkward moment, and I didn't like it. I would have liked something maybe a little more dramatic. Maybe he falls to his knees. Maybe, and then you see where, and then it, maybe the camera goes back a little bit, and you see where he is, not on stage. He's actually, in this, in this circle of people. So I don't know. I get it. I know where they're going, and then I liked it basically right after that. But for some reason, maybe it's just me.
Yeah, it just kind of threw you off at the beginning.
There, yeah. It's not what it did. It's just how it was done. Just in that one spot there.
I can see that. It worked for me.
Yeah.
And then especially right when he, says, this is where I, right away you get the acting from Taron Egerton, and saying how he's an alcoholic, a sexaholic, he's addicted to cocaine.
I didn't know any of this. Did you?
No, I didn't.
This is a brand new story to me.
Yeah, same here. But yeah, I love that transition into his childhood. Basically, it's him telling the story about how he got to this point. Go ahead.
I didn't even know. Not only did I not know Elton John's backstory, I didn't know, and I like to not be spoiled, I guess, really. I didn't know where this movie was going. I don't know that the trailers really gave too much away of it either. I didn't know that it was going to spend so much time in his childhood, which it sort of treats him as a prodigy.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, he's got that.
That was true either.
I didn't either. He's got that scholarship to whatever prestigious
he hears
school
something
that was.
and can play it right back. That's amazing.
I love that scene when he's more of a teenager, and that lady's playing the classical music. She's like, "Show me what you got," and he plays exactly what she played up to the point of her playing it. She's like, "Why'd you stop?" He said, "Well, that's all you went to." That was cool. Yeah, I had no idea this stuff about him, which was great.
I loved that, and I loved her response, which was essentially, yeah, you have a good ear and a good memory, but that's not enough to get you through here.
Right.
In other words, your talent alone, that got you through the door, but it's not going to keep you in these doors. And even before that, when his grandmother takes him into that school, he's like, oh, no. This is not for me. I can't do this. And she's like, look, this is a pivotal moment in your life. You can do this. You got to get over your shyness, which is something we hear on throughout the movie.
Right.
And, we all feel this, right?
Right.
You've got that gnawing sense in your head where you're like, no, this is not you.
Right.
But it is you, right?
Yeah.
And you got to just push through.
Yeah, you got to push. You got to, because I think we talk ourselves out of things. We talk ourselves out of. I could have easily talked myself out of this podcast so many times.
I've tried. You won't let me.
I know. You're my prisoner here. But we've all had that, and then we're glad that we did certain things. Once we did them. It's like. That shyness is a hindrance. So I love that aspect of the story.
Speaking of prisoners, one of our guests for 2 of our episodes, Ryan L. Terry, who we nearly kept prisoner that one night.
Yeah,
he's trying to leave, and we made him keep talking.
He just barely made it out, but glad he was able to get out.
Anyway, he's got a great review. Check out Ryan L. Terry and his site. Now, and I reference him because he calls this, because I didn't know this, he calls this a rock and roll fever dream movie, which is okay. Now, this is a subset of musicals. Now,
right? Yeah.
This is clearly his purview and not mine.
Right.
But it's good to know that with that reference, and basically what that means, it's something that's sort of non-linear and more visual and emotional kind of style.
Definitely.
And you definitely get that in this, which is different than something like Bohemian Rhapsody, which is pretty linear, straightforward, not really out there, kind of thing.
Yeah, they don't try anything. Yeah, it's just them writing songs, making music. Yeah. Freddie Mercury's, relationship struggles, sexuality struggles, and that's about it, and then and then hurrah at the end, I mean, whereas this, it's
a different kind of style.
Yes, absolutely. I'm glad, because I was a little worried, especially after Bohemian Rhapsody came out. I said, okay, so it's just another English musician that they're making a movie on, and it's like, what's
great call there.
Yeah, so I'm glad that this is definitely nowhere near Bohemian Rhapsody, no matter what you think of Bohemian Rhapsody. I favored Bohemian Rhapsody more than other people did. It was in my top 10 of the year even. It was my number 10 of the year.
I enjoyed it.
Of that year. But I enjoyed this more. I'll say that right now. I enjoyed this movie more. I think it's a better film, better made film, better acting.
I thought Rami Malek was just kind of odd.
Yeah. In this, Taron Egerton is actually singing the songs, whereas in Bohemian Rhapsody, Rami Malek it's just Freddie Mercury dubbed over him. I mean, that's fine, for that movie, but I'm just saying, that just shows Taron Egerton's talent.
Now, I don't want to say judge singers. Elton John's a great singer, but it's more of his style of singing than his pure voice. Freddie Mercury has a unique. No one can sing like Freddie Mercury.
Yeah, that's true too. Yeah, you're right.
Elton John, and I think even him, he was never. If you really ask him, he's like, I'm not a singer. I'm a piano player, and that's what we got from this movie. I think he almost became a reluctant singer. Not that he's not great,
right?
But it's more in his phrasing of lyrics, I would say, than his pure vocal talent. So that's easier to replicate, which is, of course, great job done by Taron Egerton.
Yeah, definitely. And you get that talent, and just by seeing lyrics, you then, see his, mind working and just how he's able to just fit music into it and how he, like you said, phrases the lyrics and everything.
Yeah.
Like that's where the talent lies, you know?
I packed my bags last night, pre-flight. Like I would never have thought to say it that way.
Right. If you look at those lyrics, it's like, you wouldn't. Yeah, exactly. So it's the talent lies there. It's not just voice alone. Whereas, Freddie Mercury That's
he can just belt like no one else.
It's an instrument,
Yeah.
It's
Exactly.
truly an instrument in his
Yeah.
voice, that no one else can.
In trying to replicate it, I think it was actually a good, although, yes, but it was a good choice, I think, of not trying to make Rami Malek try to sing like it, because it's impossible. There's
Yeah.
only one Freddie Mercury on the planet.
Absolutely. But
It just speaks to Elton John's musical genius, though, and
Yeah.
I really got that, where I came away with an appreciation for the artist. If there's one thing I could take away is this human being, this artist, I got something out of it that I didn't have before when I went in.
no, definitely not. Yeah, because I feel like again, not to turn this into a Bohemian Rhapsody discussion, but
Can't help it.
I feel like I knew everything in that movie. Like nothing really surprised me in that movie. Whereas this, I feel like I learned something. I grew in appreciation for Elton John. Whereas Bohemian Rhapsody, I still think of Freddie Mercury. He's a great singer, and he's still an amazing artist. And nothing was. I wasn't enlightened by anything in that. Whereas this, I felt something more.
I got a side question. Since we're doing we didn't intend on these comparisons, but since you mentioned the John Reed character,
Yeah.
Now the record exec, that's the guy the mustache who was kind of a dick. That's not the same guy that was played by
Mike Myers.
Mike Myers.
Oh,
is
maybe
I
it
hope
was.
not. Or maybe it is. I don't know.
I didn't think of that. I'll have to look that up. But that's an interesting. Yeah.
That was a very different dynamic in Bohemian Rhapsody versus this one, which I kind of like the way they treated the record execs in this.
Yeah.
It's kind of a jerk, but more. It wasn't a constant battle. With
Right.
them, yeah.
Definitely.
It was more of a personal. Elton John's always struggling personally in
Right.
people that are around him versus like some of these outside forces.
Definitely, and that's what you get with Richard Madden and him. It's that struggle. Elton obviously loves him, and whereas Richard Madden is,
That one where he wakes up and I felt really bad this one scene where he wakes up and he thought it was, I guess he's been sleeping for a week, but he goes outside and he's like, I think I need to maybe we should take a few days off of drinking and just kind of calm down. And Richard Madden's sitting there in the patio furniture getting blown by
right.
the groundskeeper.
Yeah, something like that. Yeah.
What kind of a scum.
I know. Yeah, and Richard Madden did great at playing this just scumbag of a guy. Yeah,
and he cleans up nice in a suit.
Right,
He's
yeah.
basically acting superior to everybody.
right.
Doesn't bend anything to anyone. He's just a fuck you. You signed your contracts, and I got you out of your bad contracts. Oh, and you got yourself into bad contracts with me. I became the new villain basically because you're so emotionally needy.
Yeah.
that I can just fuck you.
And that's where, you feel for Elton at that point. You feel for him emotionally, and
His family shows up.
yeah, well, even I know it's like, oh, hello, but even before that, it just I love the impact they showed of his relationship with his parents. I mean, first you got his father, who,
Brutal.
is basically with his mother. We find out just because of the kid. And
Goes off
it goes
somewhere?
off. His father won't even hug him.
Was he in the Navy or on a ship?
I don't know, something like that. Yeah,
Disappears for long periods of time.
Right.
Doesn't care.
Yeah.
The marriage is not a marriage.
definitely not.
His mom is more concerned. I don't know how the house is maintained, but she's like what you think of as a complete absent mother,
Right.
totally self-absorbed,
Definitely.
doing her nails, getting her hair done, and then doing stuff on the side.
Yeah. Getting screwed in the car, just on the on the
Hey,
side
fella,
of the road.
I'm your mom's friend. Great.
I hear you're great at piano. But yeah, that relationship with his parents right away, especially his father, it's just like, it's you feel for him there. Even when he's a kid, you see where he's coming from. You see the struggles he went through. Just to be loved, and that's kind of the theme of this movie. He just wants to be loved, by someone.
And he's an odd bird.
Yeah, definitely.
He doesn't. He's an odd guy. I mean, I guess he expresses that in his glasses, his outfits.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, he's very flamboyant. Yeah, he's a showman. I think that speaks to Elton John as just he's a performer too, not just talented music wise and everything. He's a performer.
It's interesting because it's almost like he makes his outlandish style, his dress, his glasses. I mean, I don't know how many kinds of glasses, whether 50, but he is shy, and somehow he tries to, portray his thoughts and put them on his outfit.
Right.
That sort of makes sense. And that's he's still not being, he's still shy, I'm trying to say, even though he's wearing something outlandish.
Right.
He's like, I'm not saying anything. I'm letting my clothes speak for me.
Well, that's where the drugs and alcohol come in. It's like, can I do it without this? Can I do it without the cocaine? Can I do it without the alcohol and everything? It's a struggle. It's kind of painful to watch at some points when he's, down in alcohol. I mean, that one scene after he, has a connection with that one lady in the record studio.
Yes.
Where he's singing "Don't Let the Sun Go Down on Me." He has a connection with her. Yeah, the woman he marries.
Why did he marry her?
But you got that one scene after they get married, and he's pouring himself this huge, he just keeps pouring the vodka and then a little bit of orange juice, and then they look at each other, and he just says, "I'm sorry."
Yeah.
And she says, "I know."
Yeah. Those two lines tells you everything.
Yeah. And it's so heartbreaking and just so it's played perfectly by Taron Egerton. And this comes after, when he goes to his father again, once his father has a new family and the love he shows for his two new boys he has.
And there's no excuse here by the dad. Like, why couldn't you love your son? Like,
right. Yeah.
Sorry. Like,
yeah.
There's no, even if you don't love your wife anymore, like, fuck off. Like, love your son.
Yeah, exactly.
It should be the easiest thing in the world.
That was painful to watch. And again, Taron Egerton's performance, I cannot express enough how much I enjoyed his performance. I think he, I mean, I would bet a lot of money right now if he did not. I would bet a lot of money that he's going to get nominated for Best Actor.
Yeah. A quick question before we go too far off. That's horribly proportioned screwdriver that he drank. The orange juice and vodka.
Well, yeah.
What's worse, that or the Ethan Hawke with the breakfast cereal and bourbon?
Ooh. Oh, man.
The bowl of bourbon and cornflake.
I don't know, man.
Well, that's sort of a complete meal there.
Yeah, that's true.
Both just extremes.
Very extreme.
I mean, how much vodka did he pour in that? It must have been like 8 ounces.
Right. Yeah. And right when you wake up, can you imagine?
I can't.
I mean, and
I can throw down, but that's...
Yeah, exactly. That's addiction, man.
I'll at least wait until 6-7 o'clock at night.
Right. I mean,
like in the morning.
And it's just the heartbreaking thing about addiction. It's hard to watch, and that's why I love that tender little scene with his wife there.
Yeah, it's just heartbreaking.
Yeah, absolutely. Heartbreaking stuff with him and his dad there, and then
he's out of control.
Yeah. Right after that, he calls his mom, telling her he's gay because she needs to keep her mouth shut, I guess.
Yeah, no surprise.
Because in that time, and she's like, "I've already known, but you should keep that to yourself." Taron Egerton, do you feel his performance?
I thought it was a great performance. Yeah, it was good. It reminded me of Elton John.
Yeah.
I could imagine.
Even that like they gave him teeth. It looks like Elton John's, and that little grin he gives. It's like totally Elton John. It
was well done, of course. And as you said earlier about the singing, that was great. And throughout this movie, as we're starting to see how he grows up and he becomes famous, and this sort of bizarre, I wouldn't call it necessarily a downward spiral, but I wonder what Elton John would say. Did he lose decades? Did he forget?
Yeah, I know. Yeah.
If you asked him what happened on June 8th, 1975, he'd be like, "I don't fucking know. I was asleep." But
well, I mean, that's kind of what this movie portrayed. He's like, "What day is it?" He wakes up and he doesn't even know. And Elton John, I guess, had a lot of. He produced this movie. He had a lot to do with this movie.
Okay, so we assume it's fairly accurate.
Yeah,
okay,
definitely.
I didn't know that bit.
I think time stamps are different. When certain things happen might be a little off, but I mean that's just with movies. You got to do what makes sense to the story. But
yeah, I couldn't help but thinking this idea of drugs and fame and money. I mean, what why do we do this to these people?
No.
It's and it goes back to the record producer. Like, good luck going to America. Try not to do too much cocaine. Like, in other words, you're going to do drugs.
Right,
You're going to wreck out. You've been, you're so talented that now we're gonna kill you.
Right.
Like,
yeah.
And this is the story over and over and over again throughout the years. Why do we? You're a musical genius, therefore you must be destroyed.
I know.
And then hopefully you can dig yourself out of how we destroy you. Why do we do this? This is sick.
Yeah, it is sick. I mean, obviously, they have control over what they do, but at the same time, yeah, I mean,
it's not real world.
It's not real world, and they can't live in the real world, so they have to numb the pain or feel something by doing these drugs and alcohol, because they can't go out in the street and just be a normal dude.
This is Bohemian Rhapsody again.
Yeah.
I got all this money and I'm sad and I'm by myself.
Right, exactly.
What good is my money?
Yeah.
I'm going to do more drugs because I can afford them, and people that kiss my ass and that want to be hanging around with me.
Right.
But I'm unhappy. What is this? Really, what is it?
Yeah.
Hopefully I don't die.
Yeah.
Like, in the end.
I think it's I mean, especially it's what makes you think about fandom and what these crazy fans do for these celebrities, and just to meet them, just to get you to sign their whatever, it's just like,
I'm even thinking, like, just so I can get Tiny Dancer.
Yeah.
It's a great song, but does he need to die for it?
Right. Yeah.
And he could have.
Yeah, definitely.
I don't know the answer to it, but it bothers me. This crazy weird culture, what we do. We don't have a better way of managing these people.
I think it's just because they're so famous that they have such easy access to these addictive drugs, to these addictive, substances. I mean, you look at someone like Heath Ledger. I mean, you look at what happened to him. You look at, even Jimi Hendrix.
I know, because you think in those two movies we're talking about, that's the characters who are gay, who are that's a struggle, but it's not just gay. It's it's man, woman, straight, gay, black, white, whatever. It's like almost impossible.
Right.
The few people who can deal with celebrity stardom. You're a genius, and now you're such a genius that you now have to go through the hardest thing you could possibly go through in your life.
Yeah.
And I don't know. It's really weird.
I know it is. Yeah, that's a good point, because it's just like, why do people go after celebrities so much? Like, why do they? Obviously, people create the celebrities who become celebrities thrive on it, like Elton John or Freddie Mercury or whoever. But there's obviously tons of celebrities out there who haven't had problems with this.
Harrison Ford, you got to be a cranky man.
Yeah,
you got to hate everybody. Everyone
exactly.
asks you a question,
you
snarl at them.
It's just I don't know. I think it's just personalities. I think you have to be. It seems like talented people are totally different personalities than other people. They're eccentric, it seems.
Are many of them born out of trauma?
I think a lot of them are.
Or is that just our own fascination?
I don't know. That's a good question. Yeah.
As far as I know, Spielberg is the most straight edge guy there is. I don't even think he drinks, or I think his indulgence, he might have a donut once a year or something like that.
Oh my God, are you serious?
Yeah, this guy, he goes crazy on the 4th of July.
I can't watch any more of his movies. This makes me feel uncomfortable.
Yeah. But it's people like that.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah.
I mean, he's not banging hookers and throwing coke off their asses, But
we don't know that.
He could be.
Yes.
But
he's just really good at hiding it.
I'm just trying to think, but I don't know.
I know.
There's a culture here, and we did touch on that base. And I'm thinking I can't help but think back on Sunset Boulevard a little bit on that kind of culture that just makes you crazy. But I don't know.
It's an interesting talking point. I mean, it's a good point. I mean,
he made it out of it. But the guy had to, completely change his life. Yeah. And now he's, 28 years sober or something?
Yeah, 28 years sober, that says in the end credits there. I love that, or don't love, but just that scene of him after he sees his dad and then tells his mom about everything, and then he's looking in the mirror and like fake smiling, like be happy, like he's trying to force himself to be happy because he's got to put on a show.
He does that every performance.
Yeah.
Every performance you see on this film, he snaps right out of it. Well, there's that one where he's a little weird to the crowd, but still puts on a good show.
Yeah. I don't. It's interesting. I want to say you and I know how he feels just because as soon as we know we're recording this podcast, I feel like something snaps in us where we know we are.
Yes. I feel just as good as Elton John.
But I know, do you know what I mean?
Like, it's time to turn it on.
Yeah,
you
it's
go,
like
you put aside your problems,
right?
And you go.
You just do it.
Yeah.
I mean, obviously, we're nowhere near that, but
I think we are.
Yeah.
We sang his song
That's
better with
very
better
true.
lyrics to start this.
That's very true. But I just
I
get
agree.
that switch you have to turn. You know, I feel like I understand that.
Now I'm gonna have a Coke problem.
Yeah. Well, we have. I mean, it doesn't seem like we can do the show without beers. So,
We have a beer problem.
but anyway, so Taron Egerton's performances are great. All the performances are great in this. I even love the club owner at the beginning. His name's Tate Donovan.
Yeah,
He was in Friends. He was just
he's in a million things.
Yeah, he was. I don't know. For some reason, I really enjoyed his part. He was hilarious.
Yeah, I remember him all the way back to Space Camp. If you remember that 1980s
Oh, wow.
movie. Yeah, I think he was in that.
I remember him from Friends as Rachel's love interest in the television show Friends by NBC, Thursdays at 8 p.m.
Hello.
Back in 1994 to 2003.
He was also in Damages, if you ever saw that.
Never saw that. He was in Argo.
Good movie.
Yeah. And yeah, he's
One
been in a lot.
that gets knocked. I thought that was a great movie.
Yeah, great. Ben Affleck directed film. So yeah, I loved the musical numbers in this movie. I thought they were all great.
Yeah, me too.
And
one that's not normally my cup of tea.
Yeah,
I thought most of these were good. Although sorry, go ahead.
No, I was just gonna say I didn't know this was gonna be like. It seemed like as much of a musical as like La La Land was. Like this was a musical to me.
Yeah, I don't like when you know me, and then I'm just the way I am. I don't like when it just transitions to I'm walking in the hallway and now I'm gonna sing and blah blah blah. Here's a song. I like more performance stuff. I think that's why I like Bohemian Rhapsody a lot.
Yeah,
it wasn't a lot of that. It was just straight up performing, but still.
Yeah,
most of it felt natural.
Yeah,
didn't
definitely.
feel like okay, we're gonna sing for 3 minutes and then we're back to the story.
Yeah, it was natural transitions, and I love when he's like first performing at that club in L.A. It was in the trailers, but he's like floating above the piano, and everyone else floats up. Yeah. That was a cool moment.
There's a nice combination of good fun and very seriousness.
Definitely. I mean, then that's when the Rocketman song comes. Is after Richard Madden breaks his heart, John Reed breaks his heart. He falls in the pool and then he's sinking down. He sees his little kid self, starts singing Rocketman.
Yeah, was it for my next trick? I'm going to kill myself.
Yep.
That was a little heavy-handed there, but
yeah,
if that's how it happened, then that's
yeah. I'm not sure if that's exactly how it happened. I don't know, but yeah, that whole scene, man.
Child self playing the piano. Yeah, that was awesome.
Yeah, that was great. And then just the whole scene of the all people floating down and helping him up, and then him recovering from that, and that Rocketman song.
Other characters are saying you don't know who you are, and that's why he keeps reaching back to that child self,
right?
Because that child self is whether or not that child didn't know if his own orientation or whatever, that sort of thing, but that was his real self.
It was, but people change,
right? He changed into, but
he changed into Elton John.
Right.
Yeah.
As opposed to Reginald Dwight.
Yeah. Reggie Dwight.
Little Reggie Dwight became Elton John.
Yeah.
He had to that's exactly right, Ben. He had to reconcile those two things.
Yeah.
Who are you? What are you? And he had to
who will you become?
Right. Elton Hercules John.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, I think this movie speaks on almost seems like it speaks on there's no such thing as destiny. You become who you want to be.
Yeah.
You're not destined to be someone. You become that person.
It's up to you.
It's up to you. he chose to be Elton Hercules John, like you said. And then and I love that, scene in the rehab at the end when he's talking to everybody in his life, from the past. Obviously, it's like a vision or whatever. He talks to his dad, basically like forgiving everybody. And
I got tears.
Yeah, definitely.
I got serious tears.
And then when he got, to his, young self, he gave him a hug and,
beautiful.
Yeah, it was
giving
great.
That little boy needed love.
Right.
And he was able to just sort of solve that.
Right. Yeah. Like this. Yeah. And that's.
He felt love and then you're able to give it. And that's, it's a bit tragic, but and I guess I don't know. In the end credits, we see that he finally found love, but
yeah,
it's sad.
He has kids now, but
I mean, he's a crazy man running out of Madison Square Garden in a could you imagine? That's that's Elton fucking John. It's the little guy in a crazy costume.
I don't know if that. Do you think that actually happened?
Seems like it did.
I know. Yeah.
And because no one would just love the fucking guy.
It's like, no one would love him. And that's what he wanted. I just want someone to love me.
And he had Bernie, who did love him.
Yeah, he did.
But, how do you... And then they turn on each other, and I get it. Bernie's like, you're killing me, and you're killing yourself, and I can't change you, and I can't be a party to this.
Yeah, definitely.
I can't handle what's happening to you.
And I love how, I don't love it, but Elton John just passive aggressively just says, "Yeah, we'll collaborate with other people." We'll just go on.
Because he knew he needed Bernie, but he couldn't accept the truth of who he was.
I love that little scuffle they're having right before a show, and like Elton kind of goes off on him, and then he like walks away, and he's like goes back. He's like, I'm sorry. Yeah. He's like, I know. That was good. Because you always get that friendship with them. Yeah. They never got in a fight, like he said. We haven't fought in 20 years. Yeah, exactly. And
that's interesting, though. Sorry, I don't mean to step over here, but that's an interesting thing about love. It's not just about not getting it. You also have to be willing to accept it.
Yep, absolutely.
And he wasn't willing to accept it as well.
And I love that moment at the end when Bernie says, I love you, and I always have. And it's, and always will. And it doesn't have to be a romantic thing. Doesn't have to be a sexual thing. It's not, because Bernie obviously isn't gay or anything. They're friends. Yeah, Dave, I love you. But it was still a touching moment. It's like you've had someone who loves you this whole time. Like you're just not.
Yeah, you need to accept it.
Yeah, you have to accept the love in order to give it.
That comes with some of responsibility. It's not just a one-way street. You got to love back.
Definitely.
And Elton had to learn how to love back too. It's tough.
Yeah, absolutely.
And it's just this is what we all want. We all just kind of want love. The City of Stars. Yeah. All we're looking for is love from someone else.
Yep.
I mean, if that doesn't boil down life, I don't know what else does.
Yeah. Yeah, it's definitely powerful stuff in this movie. I feel like it gave more depth and everything. Again, not to compare this to Bohemian Rhapsody, but
seems hard not to.
Yeah, it's just there's so much depth to this. I love the musical numbers. I love him hitting rock bottom and then eventually getting up, and then that song at the end with "I'm Still Standing," Bernie giving him lyrics one last time to make that song, and it's like, yeah, I'm still standing, I'm still here. I thought that was a good way to end it.
It is, but I hate to say this, but the music on drugs is better than the sober music. Sorry.
It usually is.
He probably knows it. But.
Yeah.
I mean, he's probably high as fuck when he did Tiny Dancer, right?
Yeah, exactly. But
good for you still for pulling out of that hole. I love you, Elton John.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, he still was able to give music, but he still has a shopping problem. He's not perfect, as they said in the credits.
He buys things with his many millions of dollars.
It's just interesting. I never knew that he had a writer. I always thought he basically. I thought he was a singer-songwriter. Like I thought he wrote his own stuff, but I mean, I'm sure he wrote songs, but Bernie obviously did
for some
a lot of it. Yeah. But again, he's a piano player. He's and knows how to put the lyrics to a tune.
Yeah, I understand that. Well, because I'm not a piano. I played guitar, and I was never really a lyricist. I just wanted to play the guitar.
Right. Yeah.
And I wasn't a singer, but I understand that dynamic where
Yeah.
you're not going out there as a Billy Joel.
Right.
Well, I'm not
Yeah.
Billy Joel. I just like to play.
Yeah.
But you're not going to make money if you just play. You got to do more than that.
So yeah, I mean, Bernie was such a likable character in this. Jamie Bell, I think, was a great choice for that role, and yeah, he just he loved Elton John until the end, and then they're still writing songs together.
Yep.
So
Great stuff.
but yeah, I enjoyed this movie immensely. I think Taron Egerton is the performance of the year so far. We'll see what else comes up.
Well,
we're almost halfway. We're halfway through the year, so.
Yeah, we've got a lot of Oscar bait.
Yeah, I mean that'll be coming out, September.
I'll wait till the very end, and then we'll have to scramble to watch them all.
Yeah, exactly. But yeah, Taron Egerton, man, he killed it. He owned this performance. I thought he was great. I was very impressed as well, and just every time he cried, I wanted to cry, and it was beautiful.
I love how much you wanted to cry. Now, you mentioned it, looking ahead, not to put you on the spot, but is there anything looking ahead to the end of the year coming out that you
Oscar? I mean, I don't know if
even just great movies in
Joker
general?
technically will be.
Yeah, that will be. I think so.
I think Joaquin will be looked at for actor in that.
That was the only other one I had in mind. Is there any other one? I mean, because last year we had First Man, and that was October. Now, is there anything else like that sitting out there?
Yeah, on the horizon. Oh man, yeah. Now that you asked me that, I'm trying to think.
Yeah, every year we do this podcast.
I know.
I feel like every year after is worse than the year before. But
yeah, exactly. I feel like I used to be on top of the news more,
but it doesn't feel like there's anything. I don't know. Maybe there is. We're just not there.
Yeah. Did you see that new preview for the Brad Pitt movie? The astronaut one. I forget what it's called.
I saw it on Twitter, but didn't watch the trailer. But something
interesting, but we got Quentin Tarantino's Once Upon a Time in Hollywood.
Yeah,
I think Leo could be looked at there.
Yes, that's.
What do you think of Robert Pattinson as Batman?
You know what? We'll see.
We'll see. Exactly.
Maybe
people always think Twilight, but he's been in other movies since then. I don't know. I don't think you saw A Good Time. He's like a robber with his brother. I think you would enjoy that movie. Yeah, he's good in it.
The only other one besides the Twilight I saw, it was something for elephants.
Water for Elephants with Christoph Waltz.
Yeah, and that was decent.
Yeah. People give him flack for the Twilight stuff, but it's like,
well, it's well deserved.
I know, but you look at what was it? There was another actor someone was comparing it to, that it's like, this guy did this before this. I shouldn't have even brought this up because I can't remember, but
Heath Ledger was a good one. Heath
Ledger. I mean, look at him. Yeah. So how do you rate? So are you done with Rocketman? Any issue? What's the main issue you had with it? There's got to be negatives you've had about it.
I'm not a negative person. No, I mean the performance was good. Some of the singing was meh. Breakout song and dance. I thought this. Well, I did like the part as little Reginald Dwight. There was a bit too much of it, I thought.
Yeah, I felt like it was slow paced at the beginning. Like I was waiting for him to grow up. I was like, all right, come on, let's get to the good stuff.
And I also maybe would have wanted a little bit more of older Elton beyond him just being fucked up all the time.
Yeah, I could see that.
Maybe finding love somewhere that doesn't last long, a glimpse of love.
Right.
Than just him being mistreated, because this whole movie he's just mistreated.
Yeah,
we don't
definitely.
See anything really good.
Richard Madden does a great job of making you hate him.
He's great at that, yeah. But then between him and the parents, it's like, all right, I mean, give me something. Did he have a good affair for 5 months? Did he have a good point in his life? Did he go away somewhere with somebody and just have a way, is there anything? There was nothing positive about this movie.
I mean, it was about discovering how to forgive yourself and how to, love yourself and allow love to come in. I think that's what it's all about.
But it was still very well. I mean, here now you ask, but it's very much a therapy movie.
Definitely.
But do I want a therapy movie at all times? I guess this was a giant therapy session.
Yeah.
And now I'm not liking it as much to think of it in those terms. But
really, that makes me like it more.
Along the ride, I enjoyed it. I just would have liked to see, there were good times. I did this. Yeah, this was cool. I was happy here. But, in general, this is what happened. So maybe I would have liked just a little bit of not even balance. Just, I mean, he's not a miserable guy. I don't think. He just had had a crazy, absurd childhood and a more absurd adulthood.
That's very true.
So I just feel bad for it. But I would rate this thing, as you're about to ask, as 3 stars and 3 buckets of popcorn.
Okay.
Good quality, good entertainment. I think this is just a good movie. I mean, it's good.
Yeah. Okay. I mean, I'm at 3.5 stars. I know you don't do halves anymore, right?
No, thank you, Ryan Altieri. I've moved off halves.
Well, whatever. 3.5 stars. But if I had to give fulls, I would give this 4 stars. But
okay.
I'm going 3.5 stars and 4 buckets of popcorn. I was highly entertained by this film. I love his music.
Yeah.
I love the musical numbers. And I just was, again, highly entertained, even by the acting, even though I was crying at some points, like it's
baby.
Yeah, that's how I roll. But I get entertained by crying. 3.5 and 4 buckets of popcorn.
Fantastic. So I think you like this one just a little bit more than me, but I still enjoyed it. I'm glad I saw it. It's fantastic, great performance, and I learned more about Elton John, who was a pop culture icon, which that's great too.
Definitely. Where can they find you on Twitter?
They can find me at Dave_Quist.
I'm at BZord. And you can find our show at Blockbuster Cast. We're going to get into TV soon, maybe. I don't know. We'll end the show, I guess.
God.
Richard Madden.
Let's end it.
Aidan Gillen. They both were John Reed, and they both played in Game of Thrones.
Man, I'm getting a good echo in this company.
I know, that's really nice.
Really good
But we're going to end the show. Folks, for Dave, I'm Ben. And as always...
It's taking too long. Just end the movie or show. Oh, Christ.
This is the punchline, Dave. Grab some popcorn, grab some snacks. We'll catch you guys
At the movies.